Hello, my name is Alan Berman. I am the owner of Archetype Architecture, also known as Alan Berman Architect PLLC. We are not just an architecture firm. We do architecture, interior design, and interior decorating. And how I split up those three categories is architecture is really the built-in, the layout, the structure of what a house or apartment might be, or an office. What I call interior design means the finished products like tiles and cabinets and things that are the finished materials that are built into the structure or the unit. What I call interior decorating is more the free floating furniture, things that are not attached to a wall. So furniture. So we've been doing this for 23 years. And the more I want to lighten things up, the busier we get. We are now up to 23 or 24 people. I've hired 5 new people the last couple of weeks. And, COVID was bad for us. We almost went out the door, and now we're doing better than ever. And I think it's because so many people bought properties at a discount in New York, where we do most of our work during the pandemic, and also a lot of people that already own properties and we're now working from home and not taking vacations decided, you know what, we've been here, I'm working at home, I want to fix this place up. So we're already on to our best year. This year could be double what we did literally last year. In architecture school, they kind of teach you everything. You learn about furniture, you learn about finishes, you learn about architecture. So in my practice, I've always done all three. In a small practice, when I just opened my current practice, it was just me, myself, doing everything. As I grew, and we have 2 departments now that we have to compartmentalize, the interior designers that pick the materials and the finishes, and the architects that do the drawings. So it's a natural flow and expansion of what we learned in school. So I went to school for architecture. I actually took some time off as an actor, believe it or not. I still do some acting. You can look me up on IMDb. But the interior design is really like Frank Lloyd Wright. If you were to ask Frank Lloyd Wright, there is no separation of the three. Architecture, interior design, interior decorating are all things that every architect should do. And it's what he did in all the homes that he designed. It really runs the gamut. So sometimes I get small clients that have a 1-bedroom. Oftentimes I don't have the staff to handle it. The average, what I call upper middle class project in New York City, which in any other city means you're wealthy, but the average project is someone buying an apartment for $2 million or $3 million or maybe $4 million and spending $700 to $1 million to renovate in an apartment. We also have about 3 or 4 townhouses that we're totally remodeling as well. But we do have some much more, we call the vanity projects. We're doing a $20 million Soho loft penthouse. We're doing a $30 million house on the Upper East Side. We're starting a Taekwondo studio, and one of my clients just bought a $25 million apartment in the Robert Stern building on Central Park West. So they're all over the place. I would tell you my specialty is space planning. I went to Cornell University, and they were very rigorous about teaching us how to fix the puzzle or whatever. So I could take any plan that seems impossible, whether you're combining some units, whether you're changing the floors in a house. We also do medical facilities, doctors' offices. My space planning comes from God and cathartically through my brain, and I could lay out any plan when the odds seemed impossible. The biggest challenge really is pricing, if that answers the question, because before COVID, people were moderately busy. Now people are super busy. So contractors that I recommend have a hard time retaining their workers as staff. So a day worker that they were paying $250 3 years ago, that same day worker is costing them $500 a day because there's so much work that other companies are trying to lure them. So it's hard. Like I met a client a year and a half ago, and she asked me, how much will this renovation cost for my 3-bedroom? And I said, based on my historical data, I've just finished 3 of these. They started before COVID and they finished, somewhere in the middle. And I can't see you spending more than 700,000 to 800,000. But because labor has gone up so much, she's well over $1 million, $1.1 million, and she was upset. And it's like, I cannot predict the market trends. I can estimate what the products that we pick are going to cost. I can guesstimate what I think the labor would be, but it all really depends on the market and how busy the market is, and it fluctuates, just like the value of real estate fluctuates. Well, the Met really has the best collection on furniture from throughout the world, especially heavy in the 14, 15, and 16, 1700s. So the Met is my favorite, but if I go to any city, besides walking around looking at the architecture for ideas, if there's a museum, I'll go to it, and the furniture section is the first place I'll go. It's usually the acting thing. And the minute I tell them if they have IMDb, they jump on top of that. And they're like, how can you have 2 careers? And I say, it's very difficult. But people in the arts that are artists or furniture designers or interior designers or architects or even acting, to me, they're all creative fields and one blends into the other. And I think there's a big, people, I'd like to think of myself and other people that do what I do as Renaissance people, Renaissance man. But that's the biggest surprise is when I tell them I'm an actor.